Source selection is the process of choosing a vendor to supply a good or service, usually by comparing multiple vendors. It's a way to ensure that the government obtains the right item or service at the right time, at the right price, and from the right source. When carrying out source selections in accordance with FAR Subpart 1, the acquisition team is required to achieve efficient operations by shifting its focus from risk avoidance to one of risk management. Risk management is the process of identifying, analyzing, and treating potential threats to an organization. Risk management principles should be applied to source selections because ignoring risks in the name efficiency is not a viable strategy. When designing efficient acquisition strategies, the acquisition team may assume if a specific strategy, practice, policy, or procedure is in the best interests of the government and is not addressed in the FAR nor prohibited by law, regulation, or executive order, that the strategy, practice, policy, or procedure is a permissible exercise of authority. In order to effectively carry out efficient operations, the acquisition team should apply case law to its acquisition strategies to ensure it has identified the risks associated with them so they can be managed in a way that results in successful acquisitions. That is, acquisition strategies that are not protested or, when protested, ensure to the maximum extent practicable that the agency prevails. The two judicial forums that manage the most pre-award bid protests are the Government Accountability Office, or GAO, and the Court of Federal Claims, or COFC. The GAO is an independent agency within the legislative branch that helps to ensure, via the bid protest mechanism, that federal agencies follow the laws and regulations that govern how they procure goods and services. Its decisions are not binding, but an agency must notify Congress if it intends not to abide by GAO decisions. It handles the vast majority of pre-award bid protests, so its doctrines are important. The COFC is a court that handles monetary claims against the United States government. It also has a pre-award bid protest function. It has similar doctrines to the GAO, but sometimes they resolve issues differently. Therefore, the CO must also be familiar with this doctrine. When designing acquisition strategies, the contracting officer should identify key legal issues that have been litigated in the judicial forums to ensure the agency's actions conform to the applicable precedents. For example, if the solicitation has a requirement for key personnel, the agency should be aware of how minimum and preferred requirements are enforced and how issues of availability are adjudicated. At the GAO, when a key personnel candidate becomes unavailable, the GAO doctrine is that the contractor must notify the agency because the circumstance represents a material change to its proposal. If the agency does not allow discussions, the proposal is technically unacceptable and can't form the basis of an award. The COFC does not subscribe to this doctrine. To them, if a candidate becomes unavailable after the proposal is submitted, the vendor is not obligated to alert the agency as it was not an intentional misrepresentation known to the vendor before the proposal was submitted. The contracting officer must know about the differing treatment the issue receives in the judicial forums because it will affect how the agency mitigates the risk of having a protest sustained against it when an availability issue arises. In today's video, we examined how to implement acquisition strategies in concert with source selection risk management strategies to ensure a source selection is successful. This concludes another episode of Source Selection Soundbites. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, and sample documents that allow practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.